Hi, I'm John Mayfield, the real estate tech guy with another Global Real Estate School podcast. Welcome to the podcast. I am John Mayfield, the real estate tech guy, and this is episode 015. That's right, our 15th episode. Hey, I guess you've got to start somewhere, but soon I'm excited and will be eager to say this is episode 565 or 5,423 because we have lots of information to cover throughout our podcast. I want these to be short and focused on a topic or a specific subject matter for those individuals who are going through the real estate course and they need some help learning the information. You can take these podcasts with you as you go for a walk or exercise or perhaps driving to work and prepare for the real estate test because you have the ability to pass that exam on the first time, start a brand new career, and enjoy really a job. I hate to say a job, but a profession, I guess is the right word, that I have enjoyed for such a long time. So let's get started with today's podcast. And today we are talking about PITI and a little bit more of an in-depth look at principal, interest, taxes, and insurance and how this may be used on the real estate exam. Now, I mentioned yesterday that PITI stands for Principal, Interest, Taxes, and Insurance. Sometimes on the exam, you may see a question where they reference the payment being $1,200, and then they will put in parentheses PITI, which stands for Principal, Interest, Taxes, and Insurance. Now, that's a monthly payment, so there is a principal part of that payment and an interest part of that payment, and there is also a monthly tax amount and a monthly insurance amount. So on the exam, they may give you a question, and they want to figure out how much of the payment goes toward principal and how much will go toward interest. The payment's $1,200 per month, and that is PITI in parentheses, or they will say the monthly mortgage payment, including PITI, is $1,200. The annual taxes are $1,200, and the annual insurance is $1,200. I'm just using these as an example. Well, you would need to take the $1,200 taxes and divide by 12 to get your monthly taxes. You would also need to take the $1,200 insurance, which is an annual figure, and divide by 12, which would give you $100 as well. We now then take the $1,200 PITI payment. Remember, the monthly payment is $1,200, your PITI. We take $1,200 and we subtract the $100 of taxes, and we also subtract $100 for insurance. That leaves us with $1,000, which is your actual principal and interest payment. Now in the question, they're going to give you the loan balance. They will give you the interest rate. So you would just simply multiply the loan balance by the interest rate to get your annual interest. Then you take the $1,000, which is your principal and interest, and you subtract the monthly interest. So again, you would take the loan balance they give you in the problem, multiply it times the interest rate. That will give you an annual interest. Then you divide your annual interest by 12 to get the monthly interest, and then subtract that from the $1,000 principal and interest payment. That will give you the amount of funds that went toward the interest for your loan, and of course, whatever's left over would be applied to the principal amount for the loan. Now, let me give you a couple of very quick things that you need to remember for this type of problem. Remember, you have to take your annual insurance and divide by 12, and you have to take your annual taxes and divide by 12. You want to pull those out of the PITI to get down to a pure monthly principal and interest payment. Then take your loan balance, multiply it times the interest rate on the loan, which will give you the annual interest, divide that by 12, and then you want to subtract that from the monthly principal and interest payment. And from that, you get an interest amount each month and a principal amount each month. One word of caution. On the real estate exam, they may give you the semi-annual taxes are $586 per year, or the quarterly insurance is X number of dollars. Remember, pick up those key words and convert everything to annual, and then divide that by 12 to get your monthly amount. So always be reading those questions very carefully so that you can get that type of a real estate question on the exam correct. Well, I hope this has been helpful. A little complicated trying to explain in an audio podcast, but hopefully you were able to follow along and do just fine. Thank you for listening to the podcast for Global Real Estate School. I'm John Mayfield, the Real Estate Tech Guy. Go out and make it a great day.